See, the difference between the ape father and a lot of people in this world, believe it or not, is I live in what's called reality. Now, I know you're all going to find this to be funny, but it's actually so true, okay? Because I meet so many people in my life who don't live in reality. They create their own alternative universe of all things that are not factual, and they keep saying it and they just keep repeating it. And I think it gets to a point where they actually start to believe it themselves. And that is the case with Teddy Zane. Okay. I am going to share a video. Go to the description of this video, and I want you to click on the link of the video I'm going to share. Now, let me explain to you why I'm sharing this. There's a lot of reasons why, okay? During the coronavirus, millions and millions and millions of small businesses all around the country suffered. All right, like I said, my heart goes out to them. A lot of my very good friends had to close it. My friend in Brooklyn had to close his bar, okay, because he just couldn't afford the bills. But let me explain to you what the difference is between all of those millions and millions of, patriots, of great American, hardworking Americans, and Teddy Zane. There's a big difference. Teddy Zane is giving an impression and claims to be a multi-millionaire. Okay, right? These Americans don't. They're not giving that impression. They're saying they're on the balls of their, us, that they have bills piling up. They can't pay it. I've had people that I've known that not only lost their businesses, they lost their homes. I could go on and on and on. They got into I remember there was food, like banks, right, in Jersey, and you see all these people were lined up, just to get food. They had to just get, got a turkey sandwich, got an apple. Okay, people were struggling big time. And you want to know what? I'm going to tell you the truth. I didn't struggle. I was lucky that I had gold. Okay, I had to sell during the coronavirus. I sold about like $50,000 worth of gold, because the only reason why was, I don't want to get into specifics. Yes, I do have money coming in. I still have money coming in, but I just panicked. You want me to tell you the truth? I didn't know what was going to happen. And I sold it more because of the fear of gold was going to go down. That's what I sold it for, because let me tell you what happened, right? I called up the gold store, Town Coins over here, and normally this guy buys gold, no questions asked. That's what he's in the business for. He gives me very, very good rates because I am a very long-standing customer. And for the first time, he turned me down. I was like, listen, I want to unload about 50,000 in gold. He says, I can't help you. I said, what? He goes, I have about $75,000 of gold I just bought, he told me, and nobody's buying it. Everybody is selling. Gold was plummeting at this point. Gold went from 1800, went all the way to 1,000 an ounce. And most people were believing, most experts, that gold was going to go even below 1,000. It was going to go to 800, 700, 600. So it was I still retained a lot of gold, but I got scared. Cuomo said in Manhattan, which is in the Diamond District, that he was shutting down everything in the next, I think I had 2 days to make a decision. And you have to understand, at that point, I had no idea what was going on. I didn't know if he was going to close the Diamond District down for a year. So I looked at my wife. Because what I used to do back in the day, just so you understand, I learned a very valuable lesson, okay? I didn't keep a lot of cash liquid. What I would do is I would keep very little, I would keep, whatever it is, $1,000, $2,000 a week on me, which I still do just for eating and entertainment. But I didn't keep large amounts of cash because I said to myself, I'd rather put it into the gold because that's going to be my safe haven where I can keep it. But for the first time, I lost confidence in gold. I lost confidence. And I ran to the Diamond District. I sold $50,000 worth of gold, got the cash, and I wrote out the whole coronavirus between the money I had coming in and the gold. That was fine. We were basically ordering food. It was crazy. It was crazy times. I used to go to Bruno's. My good friend Bruno over here at Manahawkin, and I get all my meats. We were eating great, but Bruno came out. He looked like the movie The Predator. He had the big mask on, those people they go the gas masks. He had like a gas mask on. He would come out. He's like, "Hey, Rich, here's your provolone. Here's your mozzarella." I was just like, I felt like I was living in, I don't know, a friggin' the movie The Alien, that movie Alien. But anyway, it was crazy times. But I don't come across, listen to me, I'm just a regular guy. I'm a comfortable guy. I do what I have to do to survive. Teddy Zane comes across like a multi-millionaire. Okay. I drive a millionaire. He drives all these different cars. Okay. Comes across like a multi-millionaire. Now, if you listen to this video, he doesn't sound like a multi-millionaire. He says that his rent that he's paying at his gym is $9,000 a month. Then he says that he had power bills of $3,000 a month. He says, this is his exact words, and I want you to listen to me very closely. I don't know how I'm going to pay them. I don't know how I'm going to pay them. So what does that basically tell you? He had no liquidity. He had no money that he could turn to for reserves, whether that would be money in the stock market, money for, money in his bank, liquidity, cash. He had no reserves. So in other words, he was basing everything on that revenue coming in from his gym to live and to survive and to pay his bills. Okay. Now, granted, down the line, a lot of these small business owners got relief. Okay. And I'm sure that Teddy Zane, I can almost guarantee you, applied for relief and most likely got it. And it's fine because he's a small business owner and he deserves it. And I'm not taking anything away from him, for that. But let me just say this one time. Okay, there was this one thing Donald Trump did, which I kind of thought was a little messed up. You know what I mean? During 9/11, or I believe this was the case, one of his buildings got damaged, and they offered like some sort of a program. If I remember, I was reading something like that you could get a certain amount of money back to repair your buildings, but you had to be in a certain like income bracket of your revenue. I think it was something like up to $500,000. Like, in other words, people whose properties in New York City got damaged. If you were making $500,000 a year or below, you were entitled to this certain relief. And I believe he got it. We know that he's not making $500,000 or below. He's making, billions, right? Okay. So sometimes there's these like loopholes in the system and people take advantage of it. Look, so I don't know. I guess what I'm saying to you is I don't know if Teddy Zane took advantage of a loophole, like if he pulled something like that, because let's assume he is a multi-billionaire, but he just cried the blues in order to get one of these relief programs, from the Small Business Administration, and he was able to, obtain money and, but he's a multimillionaire. Or it could be the latter, right? Which is he's just a regular average Joe. And there's nothing wrong with that. I want to repeat, there's nothing wrong with that. It's okay to be average. It's okay to be struggling, but he's not presenting himself. See, this is what my problem is with people like Teddy Zane and especially people like Lou. They're presenting themselves in certain ways that are simply not true. Lou, I own 2 Teslas. I have a Porsche. I have Lou Casa. I have a big penthouse in Manhattan. None of it is true. Banks came to me. They offered me, more money. This is what he said. Are you ready? More money than I would make on the AMC MOAS, and I turned it down because they wanted me to give up retail. I have a witness to corroborate this story. Lou's already got his tail between his legs, right? Supposedly selling all his AMC, running scared. Okay, but yet he would turn down multi-millions of dollars, right, from a bank. This is what he's claimed. I can't believe people still watch Lou. He claims that he turned down multi-millions of dollars from a corrupt bank. I could go on and on with this guy, Lou. But it's the same thing with Teddy Zane. Okay? Teddy Zane claims to be this big shot. I got all this money. I'm making, I think there was one claim that he made $200,000 or $300,000 in 1 week. Okay. Day trading. But yet, Are you ready? He's asking for $5 a month. I put myself in this position each and every day. And I say to myself, if I was making $200,000 or $300,000 a week day trading, would I be asking people for $5 a month? And the answer is no. And not even if it was legal. Listen to me. Even if, let's say, legally, let's assume I was a licensed financial advisor. I was legal. I was able to do it. I still wouldn't do it. I still wouldn't do it because why would I do it if I'm making 200 to 300,000 a week, right? So you got to question why Teddy Zane is doing it, and you got to also question what his motives are. Okay, and this is what I think it is. I think Teddy just takes 9 to 10 of these Hong Kong IPO momentum plays. He throws them out there for you to listen to them. He goes, "Yeah, this thing, this one, this one, this one." If even one or two of them hit, you understand? It's like throwing darts at the board. It's like the monkey throwing the darts. Boom, boom, boom. If one or two of them hit, he gets to be the Superman. You understand? He gets to say, "I told you, you see? Do you see what I'm saying? I'm calling it right now." If the rest of them just go up a little bit and then they dump, he could take the approach, look, we didn't do great in this one. We made a little bit, you know what I mean? We take what we can get. That's it. We're in, we're out. That's it. So he could keep playing this game. But but why is the $5 a month so important? Like, do you notice like every time he'll have a play that does so well, right? He'll put right on the bottom, this guy made this amount of money. This guy made that amount of money. This guy made this amount of money. Give me $5 a month. It just doesn't add up to me, man. Because look, I remember this one time he said a guy made 1.4 million or something, 1.6 million in one of the IPO plays, right? Okay. And then right underneath it, he's like, give me $5 a month. I remember the first thing I remember thinking to myself was if this guy made 1.6 million, Teddy made 10 million. Right? Because see, I always like to use the analogy. I used to be a piano teacher for many, many years. And there's no way that my student would be able to play a song I can't play. Could you imagine how embarrassing that is? Could you imagine how embarrassing? Imagine my student went up there, started rocking out Jerry Lee Lewis, right? Like Great Balls of Fire, and I couldn't do it. And I'm the piano teacher, and we're in a concert hall, and everybody's giving him a standing ovation. And then they're like, the teacher, let me see if you could do that. And I'm like, oh. So the point is that the teacher is always supposed to be 10 steps ahead. Like, you ever watch the Jean-Claude Van Damme movies? You know, the master will teach him, like kickboxer, a blood sport. The master is always going to be obviously the master. That's why they're the master, and they're going to be trading you. So Teddy Zane is supposed to be the master, right? He's supposed to be the one trading everybody. But why are his students making more money than him? See, something's wrong. Something doesn't add up. If Teddy Zane made 40,000 and another guy made 1.6 million. Because Teddy's supposed to be the multimillionaire. Teddy's supposed to be the guy with all the money, all the experience, all the liquidity, all the DD, all the knowledge, right? So why is he making 40,000 when another guy's making 1.6 million? There's something not right. So I feel it's just a game. He's throwing out IPOs. Some of them are going to do really well. They do. Some of them are going to tank. They're going to be pumps and dumps. Some of them you're going to make a little tiny tinge of a profit, and then they're going to tank to the bottom of the ocean. But he doesn't care because he cares about what? That $5 a month. Because ultimately, as long as one or two of them do well, it's enough for all of these brainless idiots that are giving him this money to continue to give him this money. Look, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with Teddy. Let me be clear. Giving people I don't know if you want to call it financial advice or if you want to call it tips, whatever you want to call it. I don't find nothing wrong with it, but he's not a financial planner. And he shouldn't be collecting $5 a month. He could get in trouble in terms of securities laws. I'm not going to rat him out because I am not a rat. I come from Brooklyn. That's it. See, these videos to me doesn't constitute ratting someone out. You want to know why? Because I'm not directly contacting the SEC. I'm not directly contacting, securities exchange attorneys. I'm not doing it. Okay. I'm not doing it. What I'm doing is I have a certain platform, I have a certain audience, and I'm just sharing my First Amendment right, freedom of speech. That's it. I always clarify that I am not a financial planner. I don't give financial advice, and I'm an entertainer. I always clarify that, just like I'm doing right now. You heard it, right? This is not financial advice. It's also not legal advice. I am not an attorney, and I am not technically saying that he's doing anything wrong because I am not an attorney. This is not legal advice. I am just expressing my opinion, my First Amendment rights, and I don't think he's doing something right because he's not a licensed financial advisor. He should not be collecting $5 a month. But the real question is, why is he doing it? That's the thing, the motive. The motive is maybe Teddy is not doing as great as everybody thinks he's doing. Like I said, I don't want to keep getting into it. I've seen many, many people who've had nice houses, who have fleet of cars. I told you the story. Me and my wife went to go visit a very good friend of mine in Staten Island. The guy had this beautiful house in Toad Hill, multi-million-dollar house. He had a Lamborghini. He had a Bentley. Excuse me, my allergies today are terrible. We had dinner with him. And this is a guy I knew from Wall Street. He was a good friend of mine for many years. And I was just like very jealous. I left the house saying to myself, I said, Jen, man, my life sucks. I said, I got to start doing it. But this guy had this kick-ass house. He had a fleet of cars. And I remember a few months later, houses is a foreclosure. All the cars were just leases. And he could have paid them no more. They were repossessed. It's an illusion. Possibly Teddy Zane might have took a very big beating on a lot of plays. I know he lost money on Tesla, the Dogecoin, whoever it's called. He got killed on that. He used to call himself that, the Doge Warrior. He doesn't call. You notice how he doesn't even talk about that no more. He doesn't talk about that no more. He's telling everybody sell AMC for the Super Bowl, get into the Dogecoin. Yeah, he doesn't talk about that no more. Okay, so I know he took a beating on that. I know he did, a big beating. And I'm not even talking about the time where Elon Musk was in Saturday Night, what was it, Live, and it went all the way up to 73, and then it tanked 73 cents. I'm talking about, I know he got back into it many, many times, and I know it tanked. So I don't think, I personally believe he lost a very, very large amount of money on the Dogecoin. I know he lost a lot of money on Tesla. He even admitted it. He got killed on Tesla. He lost some money on AMC and he sold. So now that is consistency. It's only a loss when you sell. Remember that. It's only a loss when you sell. I know he sold on AMC. I know he put out this community post saying Amy took $7,000 from me. He lost money on AMC. I believe that there was a few of these IPO momentum plays he lost money on as well. So Teddy might not be doing as great as everybody thinks. And he might be really relying on this $5 a month for him to live and get by and pay, what he's got to pay. And the thing that he just doesn't understand is it may not be legal. He's not a financial advisor. He's not a licensed financial advisor. And if someone rats him out, and that someone will not be me, he could face jail time. Not only will he have to have a restitution to pay all that money back, okay, but he could get into legal trouble. So that's the road he's going, and that sounds like a road of desperation to me. Doesn't that sound like a road of desperation to you? Like if somebody comes up in the street to me, you understand, and they say, excuse me, sir, may I have $5? I don't think that person's a multimillionaire. Do you? I'll give it to him. But I help people all the time. I see people that are in the street homeless. There was this guy one time, and he was just sleeping in the street. I threw the guy like $50. Just I put it under his hand, and he opened his eyes. I said, go get some food. God bless you and your family. Listen, I help people, but certainly I don't think that this guy's a millionaire, right? So it's the same concept with Teddy Zane. If he's asking people for $5, something's rotten in Denmark.